Hello there, welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff happening in the VTuber world. And today we talk about the nijisanji VTuber Vox Akuma as he apologizes to an NFT company specializing in clay dinosaurs. Vox Akuma had released a movie called The Demon Hungers, and all was well. Nothing happened. Then all of a sudden an NFT company called Claynosaurz would release an ad for their NFTs. According to sources, Dinosaurs actually posted this shot right here labeled "They Grow Up Fast" onto Twitter, and a bunch of Vox Akuma fans discovered it and started accusing it of stealing Vox Akuma's music. We have Sayaka saying, "You guys stole this music from Vox Akuma." We have Zoe saying, "Bro, the ad music is from Vox Akuma. Please get his permission first at least." We also have another kindred called Kurai Kage saying, "Hey, so if you go to track 6, this is a song from Vox Akuma, the Demon Hungers film." We have another Vox Akuma fan saying, "Background music from the video is from The Demon Hungers, a film made by Vox Akuma, who is extremely talented stream EDH. Support the music artist. Also, unless you have permission from Vox Akuma or any others in the creation of the music, you are not allowed to use the music." In a Twitter post that has now been deleted, some of Vox's fans would attempt to tell him that his music had been stolen by an NFT dinosaur company, resulting in this tweet where Vox Akuma says, "What the fuck?" I will now show you the videos and their respective music so you can decide for yourself how similar the music is. So based on this tweet, the background music which was stolen from Vox Akuma should be track 6, Mountain Whales. We all know by now that the music wasn't actually stolen. The person creating the music for Demon Hungers and the person creating the music for the dinosaur NFTs actually used a sample from the same third party, which I will explain later. But first, have a listen. As you can see, the music heard in this Claynosaurz ad is quite similar to Vox Akuma's music, and perhaps because of that, Vox Akuma would ask his company Nijisanji to take action against Claynosaurz. And Nijisanji would ask the company Claynosaurz to remove all videos containing the music from Vox Akuma's movie from all social media accounts. Somewhere along the way, Nijisanji may have forgotten to ask the original composer of Vox Akuma's music, Diego aka prettypatterns, regarding the use of samples in his music, which he made for Vox Akuma. After a while, Nijisanji did some investigating and discovered that Claynosaurz was innocent. Apparently, both Claynosaurz and the person who created Vox Akuma's music were using the same sample from a third party in their respective musics. Nijisanji would apologize heavily for their mistake, saying they were sorry to Claynosaurz Inc. for making such a mistake. Nijisanji would self-report saying, "We have requested relevant social media companies to delete posts including the video content published by Claynosaurz Inc. We claimed that the music used in the video content published by Claynosaurz was the music that was also used in the self-produced film The Demon Hungers by one of our Nijisanji livers, Vox Akuma." However, upon further investigation, it was found that both Music 1, produced by Claynosaurz, and Music 2, which was Mountain Whales, from Vox Akuma's movie, utilized the same music available for sale by a third party, and therefore, our claims of copyright infringement were untrue. Therefore, we have sent a request to the relevant social media companies, basically Claynosaurz, to withdraw our claims of copyright infringement. The video content published by Claynosaurz Inc. is now once again available for viewing on Instagram. We deeply apologize to both Claynosaurz Inc. and to those who enjoy their content for the trouble we have caused. And that's a statement from Nijisanji EN. Alongside Nijisanji, the VTuber Vox Akuma would also apologize for jumping into conclusions. Vox would say, "I'd also like to extend my sincere apologies when first watching the ad in question." This ad right here, I think. "I immediately and incorrectly assumed that the music they had used was stolen from my film, when in reality that small part was a sample sold by a third party. This possibility never crossed my mind, and I'm very sorry for jumping to the conclusion that Claynosaurz would intentionally steal music from the film." Vox Akuma would continue by saying, "I'd also like to apologize to the fans of both the film, Demon Hungers, and the Claynosaurz, who may may have been affected or who made the same mistake that I did. Overall, I am very grateful for Claynosaurz' understanding, as well as a clear communication and forgiveness during this process, and I am happy that we were able to put this issue to rest. And now we take a look at some words from Diego, also known as prettypatterns. This is a guy who made the music for Vox Akuma's movie. He was a guy who made Mountain Whales, and Diego is basically talking to a bunch of Vox Akuma's fans who are alerting him to the situation where Claynosaurz may have stolen some music from Vox's Demon Hunters movie. This is a couple weeks before nijisanji made their apology tweet. Diego would say, someone DM'd me about a tweet stating a track I made for Vox's The Demon Hunters was stolen and used in some kind of crypto project promotion, referring to the NFT Dinosaurs project Claynosaurz. To make it simple, we just use the same sample as a part of our track. It's as simple as that. We have a Vox Akuma fan responding to Diego saying, "We are very sorry for the misunderstanding. Vox's reaction was very confused, as if the music was 100% stolen. We appreciate the clear up and are very sorry for some of our actions." Diego would respond by saying, "No problem. Being confused is 100% normal, and I never expected anyone to know exactly how things are done. I actually appreciate that people care enough to question things like these. My message was only directed at people harassing the staff from that other project." Diego would continue by saying, "I'll never support crypto projects," referring to Claynosaurz, "and I personally dislike them. But the reactions against someone who didn't do anything wrong in this situation are crazy. You guys have to chill and stop giving opinions when you don't have a clue about what you're saying." I'd say I'm surprised, to be honest. Some of y'all love hating just for the sake of it, wink wink. Feel a little shame, will you? I'm sure some of you are asking whether Diego ever told Vox Akuma if he ever used samples in the music Mountain Whales for the Demon Hunters movie, and Diego actually did. Someone actually confronted prettypatterns regarding sample situation. This Vox Akuma fan would say, "Maybe disclose to your employees that you are using third-party samples in the first place, lol. Like, did you ever tell Vox or anyone at Niji that you used samples that were still for sale to others after you bought them?" Diego would say, "I'm guessing you meant clients instead of employees. I did mention the use of samples for some of the tracks of the Demon Hunters directly with Vox, yes. I don't think we discussed the specific one that caused the situation, but it was definitely a topic we talked about." We have Diego clarifying more about what samples are. Diego would say, "I talk publicly about samples, which are part of my production process, even in my personal work. The use of samples isn't free. I talked publicly as soon as I heard there was a situation going on about this, saying I chose silence as if I'm responsible for whatever is going on, and decided to do this on purpose is actually fucking disrespectful. Lamau, people assuming the worst and blaming without a clue of what's going on are a big reason why the vibes are so rancid sometimes. Feel free to talk to me directly if you have any sort of problem with the way I handle things. I promise you that we will both benefit from that. If you actually want more information or want to have a conversation about this, I'm more than happy to do that." Now, as you know, some members of the Vox Akuma fanbase are still unhappy with Diego, and some of them claimed that using samples in music is quite lazy. Vox Akuma has come out to defend Diego by saying, "Addressing some members of my own community, even though I was unaware that the specific part of the song Mountain Whales used a third-party sample, it does not mean that the use of that sample is lazy. Please remember that Diego worked on the soundtrack for something close to 6 months and hired live performers, vocalists, and session musicians to make the best musical score possible. It has 18 original songs. Please have some respect for the composer and how hard he worked to give the film such an incredible musical identity." We have the VTuber and famous voice actress Alma Lee agreeing with Vox Akuma, saying, "I wish sampling was talked about more because it is so common in the music industry, I'd say even integral. Half of the most popular songs today are samples or have been sampled from." We have Vienna chiming in saying, "Samples are so normal and a key part of producing. I hope everyone realizes that even the best artists worldwide use samples. Some people's livelihoods are just creating samples to sell to producers." And she's right. Using samples in your music is normal. There are a bunch of websites online where you can buy samples which you can add to your music legally. You can choose a sample from any genre, put it in your music after paying a price, and it's yours for that music. Depending on the license, of course. There are even subscription services where you get samples in exchange for a monthly price. This one, you get 20 credits for $20 a month, and it's one sample per credit. A bunch of popular music producers make samples for a living. Sometimes they make samples on the side. There are a bunch of websites which offer subscriptions to samples like LoopCloud, Racklib, and many more. If you just want to buy the sample itself, there are sample packs which you can buy at Loopmasters and any other website. Sometimes the website will focus on something like vintage sounds. Sometimes you just want analog sounds. Maybe you want pop music. There's a website for that. As long as you follow a couple rules, you'll be able to use the samples in your music legally. After you pay up, of course. Now, this is the terms and conditions for Loopmasters. Not all terms and conditions across various websites are the same, so make sure to take a look at the TOS before you use any samples. For this one, you can use the sounds in any combination with other sounds in your music. You get to modify the sounds. However, you cannot use the sounds in isolation as sound effects or as loops. You are also not allowed to sell the sample on its own. Say you buy a sample, maybe a sample pack from a random website, and it gives you a license to use the sample in your music. But while you can sell your music, you cannot sell the sample itself. Say you bought jazz piano motif for like $39. It has a bunch of loops in it. You can add those loops into your music, but you cannot sell them on their own. You cannot put them in a pack and sell it as a sample pack. You cannot do that. It has to be transformative. You have to put that loop in an original music and sell that music instead of selling, the sample itself on its own. Again, not all websites have the same TOS, so make sure to take a look. I think that's about it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. This is Terry Nebula signing out.